Have you ever noticed how some women seem to completely ignore you, even when you do everything right? As if there's a secret code you just can't crack? Listen up. Over a century ago, Freud discovered a mental map that explains exactly how female attraction works. And 97% of men still ignore these fundamental discoveries. You're about to join the select group of 3% who truly understand. Know what the problem is. You try everything. You text, you ask them out, you try to be nice. But it feels like there's an invisible barrier between you and the women you're interested in. It's like speaking different languages. And the worst part? This lack of connection is undermining your self-confidence right now. Every time you're ignored, every time you get a no, you feel like you're a step behind. And you are. But it's not your fault. Nobody taught you the true psychology behind female attraction, the one Freud mapped out and that few men consciously apply today. Think of the female mind as an iceberg. You only see 3% on the surface. Those are the smiles, the words, the obvious gestures, but 97% of what truly matters is submerged in the depths of the unconscious, and Freud gave us the sonar to navigate these deep waters. Are you ready to discover? I've studied Freud's work applied to social dynamics for over 10 years, and what I've discovered will completely change the way you interact with women. Remember this, the female unconscious has its own language. I'm going to show you the 5 fundamental pillars Freud discovered. Each one is a key to unlocking different levels of attraction and connection. Get ready. Pillar number 1, unveiling the female unconscious. Women seek something they can't fully explain themselves. It's a desire that comes from deep layers of the psyche, formed by experiences, memories, and primitive instincts. Freud called this latent desire. Imagine you're talking to a beautiful woman. She laughs at your jokes, seems interested, but something just doesn't click. Know why? Because you're only speaking to her conscious ego. The secret is to resonate with her unconscious desires, the ones she doesn't even know she has. How do you do that? Through specific psychological triggers I'm going to teach you. Does that make sense to you? Pillar number 2, the power of projection and transference. This one is ultra rare, almost. No one realizes how psychological projection works in attraction. Every woman projects characteristics onto you based on her past experiences, especially with important male figures in her life. Father, first love, even movie characters. You're not just you in her mind. You're a canvas where she projects her expectations, fears, and desires. And when you understand this, you can position yourself so these projections work for you, not against you. Want a practical example? If she had an absent father figure, she unconsciously seeks stability and presence. If she had a controlling father, she seeks freedom and space. You need to identify these patterns quickly. It's like having an internal radar turned on. Can you feel the power of this? Pillar number 3, mastering the id, ego, and superego in interaction. Now let's get to the core of applied Freudian theory, the triad of personality. Her ID wants pleasure, adventure, excitement. It's the animal, instinctive part. The ego seeks reality, genuine connection, compatibility. The superego evaluates morals, values, social judgment. You need to speak to all 3. Most men make the mistake of focusing on only one. They're either too sexual, only id, too friendly, only ego, or too Mr. Perfect, only superego. The secret is in the dynamic balance. In one moment, you spark her desire with a bold suggestion. In another, you show vulnerability and real connection, and you still demonstrate solid values when necessary. It's a psychological dance. Pay attention, women are masters at detecting inconsistencies. If you push too hard in one direction, her internal alarm goes off. Have you ever felt that happening? Pillar number 4, the secret language of desire. Freud discovered that female desire communicates through subtle signals, micro-expressions, word choices, pauses in speech. Studies show that 93% of female communication about attraction is non-verbal. But it's not just body language. Here's something deeper. It's the Freudian slips Freud studied. Those moments where the unconscious leaks to the surface, when she touches her own hair while talking to you, when she chooses certain words loaded with double meanings, when her eyes say yes while her mouth says maybe. These are breadcrumbs from her unconscious guiding you. You need to learn to read these signals. I'll give you a simple framework. Observe 3 things. Physical proximity. Does she move closer or pull away? Mirroring. Does she copy your gestures? And emotional investment. Does she ask questions about you? These 3 elements form the GPS of attraction. Do you get how important this is? Pillar number 5. Overcoming your own complexes. This is the most important one, and what few men confront. Your own neuroses and complexes are sabotaging your conquests right now. Freud called this repetition compulsion. You repeat the same mistakes because your unconscious is programmed for it. Fear of rejection, inferiority complex, need for approval, all of it leaks into your interaction. And women can smell that insecurity a mile away. But relax. It's not about faking confidence. It's about understanding the origin of these complexes and consciously neutralizing them. When you do that, your energy changes completely. They notice the difference immediately. Remember, attraction is about psychic energy. When your energy is clean, without interference from unresolved complexes, you become magnetic. Does this resonate with you? Now I'm going to give you the complete framework, the Freudian triad of attraction I mentioned earlier. First element, ID, unconscious desire. You need to learn to identify and resonate with her deepest desires. This isn't about manipulation, it's about genuine attunement with what she truly wants, even without knowing it. How do you do that? Through stories that awaken primary emotions. Adventure, mystery, a touch of controlled danger. Her id wants to feel, not think. Second element, ego, conscious authenticity. Here you project a confident and real version of yourself. But pay attention, real doesn't mean showing all your weaknesses at once. It means being congruent between what you say and do. Her ego is always testing your authenticity. She asks seemingly innocent questions that are disguised tests. Your consistency in responses and actions is what builds or destroys attraction at this level. Third element, superego, boundaries and values. This is her moral guardian, and yours too. Respecting boundaries isn't weakness, it's a demonstration of controlled strength. Her superego needs to approve of you for the connection to be lasting. But be careful with overdoing it. Being too respectful kills sexual tension. Being too disrespectful activates her safety alarms. The balance is in demonstrating that you have solid values but aren't a saint. Now let me tell you a secret. Most men try techniques and canned lines. That's working on the surface. When you understand deep psychology, you don't need scripts. Conversation flows naturally. Imagine this scene. You're in a bustling coffee shop. The aroma of fresh coffee fills the air. You see a woman who sparks your interest. She's reading a book, completely absorbed. In the past, you'd feel that familiar nervousness, but now it's different. You observe the signals from her unconscious, the way she holds her cup, her posture slightly leaning forward, the small smile as she turns the page. You approach with crystal clear clarity, not because you have a memorized line, but because you understand the perfect psychological moment to create connection. You know exactly what energy to project in that instant. That smile while reading, let me guess, either it's a really good romance novel or a really bad joke. Book. Simple but spot on. You just demonstrated perception, you noticed her smile, humor, you created lightness, and genuine interest about what she's reading. 3 psychological levels activated in one sentence. She laughs and responds. The conversation flows. See how different that is? But I know what you might be thinking. Freud is old news. It doesn't apply today. Let me tell you something. The human psyche and its deepest desires are timeless. What has changed is the surface, not the structure. Instagram, Tinder, WhatsApp are just new channels for the same psychological patterns. Today's female unconscious has the same mechanisms as the unconscious of 100 years ago. The difference is that now you can apply this knowledge in a modern and practical way, without the psychoanalytic jargon, without the couch, just real results in your daily interactions. Listen closely now. This knowledge is rare, ultra rare in fact. Most men will continue to struggle aimlessly, trying to guess what women want. Using superficial techniques that work in 3% of cases, you have access to the complete map, but knowledge without action is useless. You need to start observing these patterns in your next interactions, noticing the signals of the unconscious, balancing the triad, reading the secret language. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. It's like learning to drive. At first, you think about every movement. Later, everything flows automatically. Your internal radar for female attraction will become instinctive. Remember the iceberg. Now you have the sonar to navigate the depths. Don't waste any more time on the surface where 97% of men get stuck. The treasure of genuine connection is in the deep layers. Some women will immediately resonate with your new energy. Others will take longer to notice the change, but all of them will feel there's something different about you, something they can't explain, but that deeply attracts them. It's the power of the unconscious, recognizing the unconscious. I'm going to give you one last powerful insight. Freud discovered that the strongest attraction happens when we activate what he called the completeness compulsion. Every woman unconsciously seeks what's missing in herself. If she's too rational, she seeks emotion. If she's too emotional, she seeks stability. If she's too independent, she seeks connection. If she's too dependent, she seeks freedom. You need to identify what's missing and be that complement. It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about emphasizing genuine aspects of yourself that complement her unconscious needs. It's a dance of polarities. Want to know something fascinating? When you master these principles, you no longer need to conquer in the traditional sense. Women feel naturally attracted because you resonate with deep layers of their psyche. You become the man they're looking for without even knowing it. But here's an important warning. With great power comes great responsibility. Use this knowledge to create genuine connections, not to manipulate or hurt. Psychological karma is real. When you use deep psychology for good, you create incredible relationships. When you use it for bad, you attract women with the same dark intentions. Freud discovered that too. Choose wisely. Now you have two options. Keep doing what you've always done, expecting different results. Or apply these Freudian principles and join the group of 3% who truly understand. The choice is yours, but don't delay your decision. Every day that passes without this knowledge is a lost day of deep connections you could be creating. Incredible women you could be attracting. The DUI map is in your hands now. This is the key that 97% of men will never find. Not because it's unavailable, but because they prefer to stay on the surface using shallow techniques that don't work. You're different. You've made it this far, absorbed this rare knowledge. Now it's time to apply it. Start by observing the patterns I taught you in your next interactions. Practice reading the unconscious. Develop your internal radar. And before I forget, like this video right now. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Do it now, before you forget. Because I'll keep bringing insights like this. Insights that will transform your love life. Always remember the iceberg. You now have the sonar to navigate the depths of the female unconscious. Use it wisely, create deep connections, and join the select group of 3%. Freud's secret is now yours.